If you're following me on my socials, I posted 2 stocks that I'm going to be very interested in 2025. But in this episode, we're going to do a little bit of a deep dive on both of them. I'm Afro Senpai. I'm documenting my journey in becoming a millionaire in hopes that people feel more confident and comfortable investing on their own. Allow myself to interrupt myself. You guys got to stay to the end of this video because we're dropping so many gems that it's a Fed play. That means we're going to be printing money on autopilot. It's going to be packed full of value, so keep watching. What are these 2 mystery stocks? Stick around and find out. Let's go. First up on the chopping block is Palantir. This is going to be more of a long-term play on AI. I kind of feel because they have a bunch of government contracts and they're dealing with AI, this is kind of a Terminator / Cyberdyne play. Hopefully a large corporation that's getting a bunch of money from the government is not going to do anything bad that could harm anybody. But it is what it is, and I'm going to capitalize on it while I can. So we don't need to get into the charts too much here because I don't really care when I buy into my long-term plays because I'm going to be holding them for a long time. Similar to an Nvidia or a Tesla, dollar cost averaging is the way to go. The other stock that's a shorter term play is MicroStrategies. What I'm most interested in is this indicator to a Bitcoin correlation. And let me change the settings on this real quick. I want to look at the area format and make it blue. So we can see quite frequently that MicroStrategies hits almost 1-for-1 on Bitcoin correlation. There's some dips here and there, and that could be a bunch of companies selling out of MicroStrategies to get into a different play. Whatever the reason is, it doesn't matter because I'm focused on the fact that MicroStrategies correlates to Bitcoin. We know from historical data and the fact that I've done videos on historical data points for Bitcoin, we know that Q4 of the halving year is a blowupchuation time. And we know that the year after the halving is also another blowupchuation time. So MicroStrategies is poised to blowupchuate our accounts for us. And because this is a shorter term play, I'm going to be exiting around Q3 and Q4 of 2025, most likely selling 100 shares or whatever at a time. And if you're still here, I'm going to hip you to the secret sauce because this is going to be a beautiful play here and hopefully everything works out. Okay, so let's take a look at these juicy parallels. We'll set up some support and resistance lines. So here we see MicroStrategies bottoming out at, let's see, 114, and this was September 6th of this year. And we're currently dinking around the resistance level at 174-ish. And taking a look at what Bitcoin was doing at September 6th, it hit its support level at 53.5K, we'll say. Bitcoin has a current support level of 60K with the highest resistance level of around 66K. And because it's so volatile, I have 3 separate lines, which you see here, to track its different support and resistance levels. But looking at the growth from September 6th all the way to September 27th, and then we see a drop. Looking at MicroStrategies, starting at September 6th, going all the way up to September 27th, and then we see the drop and it starts to get choppy. So if Bitcoin follows the same patterns that it's been doing since its inception, Bitcoin will blow up at the end of October into November and December and beyond for 2025. MicroStrategies will do the same thing, and I'm going to be buying as much MicroStrategies and MicroStrategies related products like Misty and Mistex, but that's kind of more advanced, risky leverage thing, and I don't want to get the average person into it because I myself have fallen for the leverage stuff. And if Bitcoin does a wild swing, my trades drop and I lose 2,000, 3,000. Most people might not want to see that and will think investing is horrible. So I don't really advertise that. So just stick to the common stuff. Don't go leverage, just invest. Now, here's the beautiful thing. I want to show you something else. We know that at the end or towards the end of 2025, Q3, Q4, Bitcoin is going to drop, enter its bear market, and start consolidating into 2026. So that's where my backup plan comes into play. Hashtag fiat. Now, again, this is risky because it's the inverse of something. It's basically shorting Coinbase. And if you're not used to big drops or wild swings, don't do this. But for people who are comfortable investing with risk, let's look at what's happening here. This is the inverse of whatever Bitcoin is doing. So when we have that rise up, what was fiat doing? On September 5th, it started to shoot down. And then at the end of September, we saw Bitcoin going down. And what happened with fiat? It started to rise. So this is extra game for those of you who are staying to the end of this video. I appreciate you so much. Once the bear market starts to set in, I'm going to be buying out of MicroStrategies and all MicroStrategies related products and buying into fiat. You see these D's here? It doesn't stand for D's, it stands for dividends. So as Bitcoin is blowing up, I'm going to be getting paid dividends every single month. And that's what I'm using to pay back the loans that got me all the money that I could buy into Misty. But similarly, once Bitcoin starts to die off in the bear market, putting all that money into fiat, I'm still going to be getting paid monthly with these dividends. It's a beautiful thing. I've said it before and I say it again. This is not checkers, it's chess. Play the game so you can become wealthy, if that's your goal. Some people don't want to become wealthy, and kudos for them. But there you have it. That's going to do it for this episode, folks. Those are the 2 stocks that I'm most interested in for 2025. And then also, if you stayed, you got a little bit of extra knowledge, a little extra nugget of information to get you more money, even when the bear market is happening. If you appreciate the information and you found value, please pay that like tax. Comment below if I should be looking at any other funds or strategies that you implement for yourself. Share this with a friend if you're trying to blow up your money together. And check out the videos that I have for you at the end of this one so we can grow the channel and we can grow the family. And until the next one, remember to smile because you are beautiful. Peace.